Brian Mahoney says, are you a narcissist? Every thumbnail is your face. Am I a narcissist? I do put my face in the thumbnails quite a bit. I don't know. That's a great question. Hey everybody, it's your friend and your guy and your favorite bringer of doom and glee, Gardiner, the Linux gamer. Yeah. This video is brought to you as always by my 125 amazing patrons, without whom I wouldn't be able to do this channel. My top tier Singularity members get special recognition at the beginning of each video, so thank you to iSutter. Dude, your support is truly humbling. And don't forget, if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps the show out. And if you really, really like this stuff, you can hit that subscribe button. And hopefully at some point, YouTube might tell you about the latest videos that I upload. If you'd rather, you can also check out LBRY. LBRY:// That's a mouthful to say, but check it out. You can go to, you can download the app. You can go to beta.lbry.tv and check out the Linux Gamer over there. All right, so a little while ago, I asked for some questions. I said, hey guys, you guys got any questions for me? Because I'm gonna do a questions video, and people had some questions, so that's what we're doing. The first question is from the forums. Let's see if I can find it here. At KVN, a patron of mine, asks, did you ever use a tiling window manager? If so, what did you use? And what did you dislike? And if not, what's stopping you from trying? I've never used a tiling window manager because I haven't had a reason to. I'm very happy with GNOME. I definitely should try a window manager, but I don't know. I've never done that. Thanks for the question. Lazy Irish dude on the forum asks, I'm curious, do you value aesthetics over functionality and well-engineered software? Some of your recent videos seem to indicate this, and I'm interested to hear your opinions since the look and feel of a piece of software or development environment are important to me, yet I'd rather have a well-engineered solution with a complete feature set than one that looks nice or fits with a desktop environment. Here's the thing. I'm willing to make sacrifices to use a pretty piece of software. That's really what it is. I don't like software that's ugly. Even if it has a complete feature set, if it's ugly, I don't want to use it. So I'm willing to make sacrifices to use a native GTK app if it means that I'm missing some features. I don't think that that's irrational. It's like how my mind works. And in my opinion, GTK is the best way of presenting information to an end user. So that's how I'd like my apps, please. Great question. Thank you for your question. This is at Johnny Tirani. If I'm not mistaken, Johnny is a patron. What are your plans for the channel in general? Do you make a plan for the next, let's say, 2 years, or do you just go with the flow? Do you keep track of the statistics of your videos and that influences the kind of content you create in the future, or do you just talk about what you want? Also, have you thought about partnering with other tech YouTubers more often? Do I look at the statistics of my YouTube channel? Yes, I do. I kind of build my entire life around the metrics of my channel, which might not be healthy. But you know, I actually kind of like some of the features of the new YouTube dashboard that does like a lot of the comparisons that I was doing and like the rankings that I was doing of my videos. And it's actually really nice. So if you look at the main dashboard, you can see where my last video is ranked number 3 out of the last 10 videos based on how long it's been up. So based on the last 10 videos, first 1 day and 14 hours of being live, it's ranked number 3, which is pretty good. I like it when most of my videos hit over 10,000 views per. That's kind of like my target right now. And I remember back in the day when my target was like 1,000 views per or 2,000 views per. So now, you know, I am definitely keeping a hawk's eye on my metrics. I also am watching for watch time, and recently I've been trying to drive engagement and trying to increase the number of subscribers. But anyway, it's fun. I like numbers. I like metrics. It makes me happy when I see them go up, and it makes me sad when I see them go down. So Yes, I do look at my metrics. As far as working with someone like Linus Tech Tips, that would be awesome. I don't know how much of a benefit them working with me would be, but I would stand to benefit greatly from that. And they're cool. They seem like really cool people. So, I mean, I'd be down to work with them. If people want me to work with Linus Tech Tips, go tell them. Go say, hey, Linus, you should work with the Linux Gamer. That would be cool. At Dan Catlord asks, can you change your channel from the Linux Gamer to the Linux Gardiner? I've been thinking about basically that, actually. That's actually a thought that has occurred to me. You know, I've been going by TLG a lot more recently, and so changing the name of the channel to the Linux Gardiner would be a really funny meme, I think. We'll just go with that. Your friend and your guy and your favorite, the Linux Gardiner. There you go. That's perfect. At Wendell asks, any updates for the video card giveaway? That wrapped up, and I gave the card away and I shipped it off. I can't remember who won it. I'll check my email real fast. I sent it to him. How long ago was that? I don't even remember. Good Lord. Anyway, yeah, I shipped it off to the winner, and he really enjoyed it. So congrats to that guy. I didn't announce it because I was like, I didn't want to make people feel bad that they didn't win. Next up, we have some questions from YouTube. I posted on the YouTube community and asked people, hey, what do you have? What kind of questions do you want to ask me? And I got actually quite a few questions, so let's go over these real fast. Joshua Mannon asks, GOG Galaxy 2.0 has been announced to be working on Linux support. Thoughts? Awesome. That's exciting stuff. I'm really stoked for that. He goes on to ask, Linus Torvalds said that the big problem for Linux on desktop was a lack of OEM support. Now that System76, Purism, and others are becoming well known, what should be done next? Well, I love System76 and Purism, but like I think what Linus is talking about is more like HP and Dell and stuff like that. I think that System76 and Purism have a great market opportunity, and I think that there's room for them to, you know, cross over into the mainstream. But I think that like that's probably where we need to focus on, is getting our OEMs out into the public, out into like Best Buys and stuff. That's what I think we should be doing. Who shops at Best Buy? Not me. Alan Pope asks, hey Alan, how's it going? What would it take for you to join a game jam and create your own game as opposed to running one, cool as it is? Would you use something open source like Godot, or more popular tools like Unity? Might be a good series to run. Learn game dev along with TLG. That's a fantastic idea. So what would it take for me to join a game jam? So I'm really experienced with like user front end stuff, like websites. And so if I were to make a game, it would be in something like Phaser, because I could use JavaScript. There might be something cool in the pipeline, open source and all that jazz, made with open source tools. But that's all I'm going to say about that. And for me to join a game jam, I don't know. I don't have a lot of time. That's part of my issue. Time is of the essence for me. Thank you for the question, Alan. It's a great question. Naomi St. Clair asks, why don't you stream Linux gaming? It could increase your reach and bring the good news of Linux to a more casual audience. So, okay, so there's a couple of reasons for that. The first reason is that when you stream on YouTube, people unsubscribe en masse. Like, there was 1 month where I, got a normal amount of subscribers, and I was streaming like 3 or 4 times a week on YouTube, and I actually went into the negative in terms of net subscriber growth. So that's why I don't stream on YouTube. Streaming on Twitch, I used to stream on Twitch quite a bit, and I really, really want to get back into it now, especially now that I'm full-time. I'm working on clearing my schedule and setting up a routine for that. But at the moment, I'm not streaming regularly, but I hope to be streaming regularly on Twitch, twitch.tv/Zondak. So if you want to follow me over there, go for it. And sometime soon, I'll probably stream at least 2 or 3 times a week over there. Thank you for the question. Lucas Valentin asks, I know you're supporting the Labrum 5. I think that it's a great project and I like it, but the price seems too high. Is it a problem for you, or do you think it's normal? So, Lucas, that's a great question. I've actually got this question a couple times on other outlets here. My first response to that is flagship Android phones cost significantly more than $600. Even when the price goes up, it's only going to be $699 or something, $659, something like that. And the fact that you're getting a phone that's not like a hardware clone of an Android phone that's running a fully open source stack of software, I mean, that is well worth it, in my opinion. I'm super stoked about this device. I think that this is going to be an awesome product. Really, what's important is the hardware itself. Now, I can't say that I know I can speak for a product that hasn't launched yet, but I'm guessing that the build quality of this hardware is going to be on point. I think that the fact that it's going to be made by a company that has experience with manufacturing stuff is a big plus, and like high-end stuff too. And so I think that the $600 price tag is, I think it's middle of the road as far as comparing to other smartphones, and it's like a totally different ecosystem. So I don't know if it's even fair to compare it to other smartphones. But thank you for the question, Lucas. That was a really good question. Permissive licenses or copyleft licenses? Personally, I am of the copyleft persuasion. I don't like the idea of permissive licenses, especially when they're abused. An example of abusive permissive licenses would be like open core projects where like the basic version, the free version of the app is open source, and then the company that's developing it like slap their own proprietary plugins on top and sell it. I think that that's stupid and obnoxious, and I really don't like that. So personally, I'm of a copyleft persuasion, where there's like a viral like infection of all code that's attached that touches the copyleft software. I think that that's really important, and that's why I like Linux, because it's copyleft, and most of the applications that run on it kind of need to be, by the necessity of the license, need to be open source as well. I like that. Brian Mahoney says, are you a narcissist? Every thumbnail is your face. Am I a narcissist? I do put my face in the thumbnails quite a bit. I don't know. That's a great question. I think it's debatable if I'm a narcissist or not, but the faces in the thumbnail is actually like a psychological thing. People will click on a thumbnail if there's eyes in a thumbnail. If there aren't eyes in a thumbnail, then people are less likely to click on it. Don't understand why. Don't really know, but that has proven itself time and time again in at least my metrics. So that's why I put my face in my thumbnails. Great question. Are you a narcissist? Fido asks, have you considered growing your beard out longer? Everyone knows Linux and beards go together so nicely. My beard does not grow properly. It's patchy and it's nasty, and I don't like how it looks most of the time. So when I trim it pretty close to the face, just so that it gives more of an elongating effect on my face. But otherwise, if it starts to grow out too long, it starts looking patchy and gross, and so I don't even mess around with long beards. But there are some god level beards in the Linux community. Thanks for the question, Fido. Kaworu SuSeSu asks, should new Linux users just ignore Ubuntu and its distributions and find something else, such as Manjaro? Should existing users just jump 6, since i386 packages will be frozen? That's a good question. I think, we kind of touched on this in the last video that I did, but I think that distributions like Manjaro are kind of the future. Distributions, I think Debian is kind of old hat at this point. I love Debian, and I know people are going to get pissed off at me for that, but like, Debian-based distros just have this real slowness to the way that their packages are upgraded, and it kind of irritates the crap out of me. And like I said, I love Debian, so no hate there. I think that the future is going to be something more along the lines of Manjaro, where you're going to have faster packages, but it's also less stable. So I don't really know. Maybe Fedora. People like Fedora, right? Thanks for the question. Blob asks, why don't you cover more games? Your channel's name is literally The Linux Gamer, but very few games lately. By the way, thanks for showing 2 Point Hospital. It's really funny. I love 2 Point Hospital. It's one of my favorite games of last year. Why don't I play more games on my channel? It's because people don't watch the videos that I do about specific games. If I do a video about 2 Point Hospital, it'll get like 1,000 views maybe in the first day. Whereas if I do a video about Steam doing something, then it's going to get 4,000 or 5,000 views in the first day. And it really is a numbers game for me. I mean, I'm being completely honest. Like if I say, if I do a video about a specific game, I'm really only going to draw in people who are really interested in that specific game. And in a tiny community like ours, how many people are actually going to be interested in the tiny game that I'm going to be talking about? Also, on the flip side of that, it's a significantly more labor-intensive process to do a review of a video game than it is to talk about the news. And I hate to say that, but that's the truth. Like, that's the absolute truth of the matter. So I'm going to be working harder for a video that's going to get less views, and that's just not, that's just not economical. And so I hate the fact that that's how it is. And also YouTube kind of buries gaming videos because they don't really care that much about them. So like I said earlier, I want to get back into streaming Twitch, like games on Twitch. And I think that that's going to be where the Linux Gamer really lives up to its name. But at the moment, like I just can't justify reviewing video games that only about 1,000 people are going to watch in order to stay true to like the name of my channel. Maybe I will change the name of my channel to the Linux Gardiner. Thank you for the question, Blob. So Psychall asks, are there any laptops that offer pre-installed Linux instead of Windows with a cheaper price tag or at all? Yes, there are a ton of of laptops that come with Linux shipping on them. I reviewed a few on my channel. System 76 has a ton, and they are a great and awesome team. And you're going to pay a not insignificant amount for a System 76 laptop because you're going to buy it new. And if you buy a new laptop on, Newegg or whatever from one of the traditional OEMs, you're going to be paying about the same amount for approximately the same hardware. But to offset that, you're going to be getting a laptop with Linux on it, a laptop that's been designed, like the hardware has been selected from the ground up in order to work with Linux, and you're going to have the hardware support team of System 76. There's also Purism, who develop laptops, and and both Purism and System 76 have been working on Core Boot, which is a free and open source BIOS for their laptops that they sell. So this is huge stuff. There's tons of other smaller vendors, and of course, if you consider Chrome OS a Linux distro, then you can get a cheap piece of crap Linux computer. But I don't really know if Chrome OS counts. But there are tons of options for Linux laptops with Linux pre-installed on them. So yeah, I'll have a link down in the description for both Purism and System 76. Nicholas Dean asks, why did you stick with Ubuntu for so long? So I stuck with Ubuntu for a long time, and mostly it was because I had tried other distributions and found that they were less stable than Ubuntu. The other thing is that Ubuntu just worked out of the box, and there was I didn't have to make customizations. I didn't have to tweak settings. It just was the way I wanted it to be. And I didn't, and I also did a lot of work that I just needed a rock solid system, and I didn't want to have to fuss around with, you know, packages breaking or any number of issues that would crop up on other distros. But at the same time, Ubuntu pissed me off really hard, and so I decided I was going to switch to a different distro, and I landed on Manjaro because it was a nice trade-off between stability and package like recency. I don't know what the word is, like new packages basically. And Manjaro is pretty stable, so I like Manjaro. I don't know if I'd recommend it to a newbie. I would probably say Linux Mint or Elementary or something like that to a noob. But yeah, that's a great question. Nicholas also goes on to ask, what do you think of the Pine phone slash the other Linux phones coming out, since you only talk about the Labrum 5? So the Pine phone, I talked about this on the podcast. So obviously you're not a podcast listener, but I'm going to tread lightly here, but I'm going to say that the Pine phone is roughly going to be equivalent to a track phone version smartphone, like a track phone branded smartphone with just frankly lesser build quality. I can't say that that's going to be the case. I can't say that that's absolutely true, but for $200 or whatever they're charging for it, I don't think that that's going to be on the same build quality level or the same hardware performance level as the Labrum 5. I'm going to put that out there. That's what I think. I think the Labrum 5 is the flagship Linux phone, and that's why I talk about it. I don't know of other Linux phones that are coming, but if there was one that had an e-ink display, I would talk about that, because an e-ink display is something that I really, really want on a smartphone. And then we have a couple more questions here. Wait, what 469 asks, what's your favorite game? That's a tough question. I really like Doom 2016. I really like Firewatch. I really like The Sims. I really like Command and Conquer and OpenRA. And Theme Hospital or 2 Point Hospital. Oh, hey, my screen shut off. Cool. Man, that means I've been recording for 40 minutes. Are you kidding me? I really like Dead Cells. Dead Cells is really good. Shovel Knight's good. Hollow Knight's good. I like a lot of games. I don't know. I can't say I have a favorite game, but I like all of those games. So there you go. Thanks for the question. John Knight says, as those compatibility numbers keep climbing, do you think OEM builders like Dell or budget machines like Walmart or Best Buy, I guess I'm not American, will repurpose Proton and Lutris for non-gaming regular desktop purposes? That's an interesting concept. I don't know how realistic that would be. I mean, you'd have to consider like what it would cost these OEMs to actually develop you know, their bespoke Linux solution. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't see that really happening, but we are seeing more OEMs just offering Linux, you know, from the get-go. Like, I mean, Lenovo, there's the Lenovo ThinkPad right now you can actually get with Ubuntu pre-installed on it instead of Windows. And that's pretty cool. It's Red Hat hardware certified as well, which is interesting. So I don't know. That's an interesting question. I don't know if I would say that is likely to happen, but I think that it's just going to be more likely that we're going to be seeing more Linux in more places. And I think that that's a good thing. And then the last question, Jaunty Newman asks, how do we play our Steam games when Valve Corporation ceases to be? Do you imagine the community implementing a workaround to bypass Steam's DRM? Should we be keeping local backups of all the games in our library before the servers shut off? Can you tell me that I'm paranoid about not being able to access my games in the future? That's a great question. And it's one that I have thought about and struggled with for a while. One of the things that, when I said this in a video, when I asked that exact question in a video of mine, a lot of people in the comments said that Valve had promised that if they ever shut down, they would create a workaround to allow to basically disable DRM and anything they had control over. But that doesn't really address the games that don't use Valve's DRM, and it doesn't address the fact that what happens if Valve, instead of shutting down, gets sold to a private equity firm and or goes public and decides that they don't want to live to the same values that they had when they were a private company. You know, there's a lot of things. It's so sad that like, you know, I've spent thousands of dollars on games on Steam, and now I'm at a point where I don't want to spend another dime because I don't know if I can trust that publishers are going to support Steam by publishing their games there and thus causing, you know, more issues. But at the same time, Valve are supporting Linux gaming more than just about any other company in the entire world. And so that's a huge deal for me. I typically, what I do now is I typically buy DRM free games from Humble or from GOG. And then usually you'll get, if you buy it on Humble, you'll get a Steam key that you can redeem on Steam, and that's a good option as far as I'm concerned. But the developer gets more of a cut, but Steam doesn't get anything. So I don't know. It's such a hard question. Personally, I'd rather go back to the days of physical ownership. Hardware, you own the disc to the game, you own your copy, and no one can take it away from you unless they break into your house and steal it. I don't know. That's my thought on that. So thank you, Jonty Newman, for your question. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone who asked questions. I've been recording for over 40 minutes now, so this is going to take forever to But I think that's going to do it for this episode, my friends. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you believe in the work that I do, you can support this show with a monthly contribution over on Patreon. It makes all the difference. You can also pick up a t-shirt. There's a link down below. So get one of these Like a Foss shirts on Teespring. But no matter what you do, whether you hit that like button or share this video with your friends, don't forget to subscribe to see more from me, the Linux Gamer. And as always, thanks for lunch. It's lunchtime. Can you tell? I was just thinking about lunch. What the hell? All right. That's it. That's the end of the video.